Hey there guys and gals of YouTube world. It's Tuesday, October the 5th. I'm going to continue my journey with buying rental properties. Remember, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Please click the thumbs up button and feel free to comment. And most importantly, sorry, for some reason I itch. And also, please share any videos you think are worthwhile sharing. I really need to grow this channel. You know, need more subscribers, more views, more likes, etc. Okay? Alrighty. The last video, I told you how I got my first 5 units, right? Remember that? I had 2 houses in Virginia and a triplex in Virginia. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. I had 5 units. And that had brought me up to, what was it, May of 2018. All right? So we are picking up after I had bought that triplex. So I had 5 units. All right? Later in 2018, I think it was August. I didn't write the dates down. I bought my first out-of-state property. I bought a single-family home down in Alabama. How I got this, I actually got a book over here, sorry. Prior to buying it, I had read this book by David Green, Long Distance Real Estate Investing. I recommend this book strongly. And I read that book and I was like, well, maybe I can buy a house. Because houses in Virginia, they were like $100,000 a piece. You know, maybe I can buy one somewhere else. That would be cheaper. So I had found Bigger Pockets by then. And on Bigger Pockets, I found an individual who, he would write blogs for Bigger Pockets, but he would also post houses. He was like an investor / real estate agent in Alabama. And he would flip houses, he would sell houses, et cetera, et cetera. So he'd post different ones. And I saw different listings that he was posting. And then I saw one that just caught my attention. And I looked at the pictures, I looked at the description, I ran the numbers, and I realized the numbers would work. So I contacted him. And I said, if I come down there sometime, because it was about 600 miles away, I said, if I come down there sometime, could you show me around some houses? He said, sure. And I said, it might be a quick trip. And he said, that's fine. I said, how about this weekend? And it was like Thursday. So I don't remember exactly what day. I either drove down on I think I drove down on Friday, spent Saturday there, or I drove down Saturday and spent Sunday there. I think that's how I did it. I drove down on Friday, or I'm sorry, I drove down Saturday, 600-mile drive. It was a long drive. Got there that evening. Next morning, it might have been a Sunday, it might have been a different day. I think it was Sunday. I met him, say at roughly 9 o'clock. We met at some place in the city. He picked me up. It was in Birmingham, Alabama. He picked me up and took me around to, I don't remember exactly, 5 or 6 different houses. One of the houses was a house that he had listed, he had flipped it. And then 5 other houses that were all comparable price range. Some were even cheaper, and some might have been a little bit more, but comparable price range. And I looked at them all, and it was a tough decision between 2 houses, but I decided on one. The one I decided on was the one that he had flipped. And his name is Rob Drum. Rob Drum. D-R-U-M, Rob Drum. All right, you can look him up. He's in Birmingham. He's on Bigger Pockets. I think he's still on Bigger Pockets. I rarely go to Bigger Pockets anymore, but I think he's still there. And I'm on his email list, so he sends out emails. I get them. And he also has a YouTube channel with updates on Birmingham. Okay. All right, so I bought that house. And when I bought it, we agreed on $45,000. I think I offered less than what he was asking, but we agreed on $45,000. And I had a home inspection done, and the home inspection, like all home inspections, there was a list of things it needed. So I told him I had a list of things for the home inspection. He says, send it to me, and I'll get my handyman guy to fix everything. So I sent it to him, handyman guy, and he was going to cover everything. So the handyman guy went through. Then Rob called me, and this helped me to realize I better trusted Rob. Even though I already, after meeting him, I trusted him, but now I even better trust him because he called me up one day while I was in the process of buying this house. And he was like, Mazske, my contractor just called me. He's on the roof of the house there. And he says, it's so bad, he can't just repair a couple shingles. He needs to put a new roof on it. And my heart sunk because I was like, oh no, a new roof's going to be like $5,000, $6,000. I didn't know the price, say roughly $5,000. And then he was like, so my heart kind of sunk because I was like, I don't want to spend an extra $5,000. And then he's like, but I'll make a deal with you. How about if we split the cost 50-50? And I was like, well, what's the cost? And it was like, I think $4,500. So it was like $2,250, something like that. It might have been $4,600, whatever it was. And I was like, well, let me call you back in just a couple minutes. So I hung the phone up and I thought, if I split the cost, I get a brand new roof for like a little bit over $2,000. If I say no, then I either don't get the house or I try to negotiate the price down, but then I would need to pay the whole roof out of my pocket. I call him back up, hey Rob, I'll split the cost with you. So I also said, does that include gutters? And gutters were separate, but I wanted gutters on the house. So I think I might have paid the gutters. It was like $1,000. I think I paid that out of my pocket. So the total cost of the house was, say, it was like $48,000 to $49,000. So I got that house in Birmingham. So that wrapped up year 2018 for me. At the end of 2018, I had a total of 6 units. I had 2 single family homes in Virginia. I had a triplex in Virginia, and I bought 1 house in Alabama. So 2 plus 3, 4, 5, 6. So I had 6 houses. I just double check my math, sorry. So I had 6 properties. Going into 2019, in the first several months of 2019, I did 2 things. One, I decided I'd heard about a self-directed IRA. All right. I had never heard of self-directed IRAs before, but I found out with a self-directed IRA, you can buy alternative assets, you can buy rental property, and you can buy other stuff inside a self-directed IRA. In a normal IRA, you pretty much buy mutual funds or stocks or bonds, that kind of thing. But in a self-directed IRA, you can buy rentals, real estate, property, notes, oil, mineral rights, syndications, just you can loan money to other investors and get the interest back. There's different things you can do. So I decided I wanted to buy a house in my self-directed IRA. By this time, I had contacted Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time. And I mentioned a turnkey provider to him that I was considering. And he replied to me saying, well, I don't really know too much about that turnkey provider, but I recommend I can put you in touch with this turnkey provider. And he did put me in touch with them. And that was up in Northwest Indiana. So I got in contact with that turnkey, the owner, Tom. Tom put me in touch with his number 2 guy, Jared. And Jared and I started communicating, and we figured out a house for me to get inside of my self-directed IRA. Around about the same time, I decided to do the BRRRR strategy down in Alabama. And BRRRR is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Okay, you buy the house, you pay cash for it. Rehab it, you pay cash to rehab it. You rent it out to a tenant, then you go to a bank and you do a cashback refinance it. And you pull money out, and then you repeat it. Okay? Sorry, nose, I don't want to sneeze on you. So I did the BRRRR house. With the house inside my self-directed IRA, I sold stock that was in my Roth IRA with Schwab, transferred the money over to Quest, my custodian for my self-directed IRA, and I paid cash to buy a house up in Indiana. With the BRRRR house, what we used was a 401k loan. I had also found out about 401k loans. How did I find out about 401k loan and self-directed IRAs? I found out about both of those from Clayton Morris, from Morris Invest. Okay, there's controversy with Clayton Morris. You can look it up online. You can form your own opinion. But I got those 2 ideas, self-directed IRA and a 401k loan, from Clayton Morris. Okay, the 401k loan, my wife had a 401k. You could borrow up to a maximum of $50,000. As long as you had at least $100,000 in your account, you could borrow 50% of your balance, maximum of $50,000. So my property manager in Alabama, by this time I was on my 2nd property manager. I fired the first one, hired the second one. I had mentioned a BRRRR strategy to him. He found me a house that I bought for $24,000. The guy was asking $25,000, I got it for $24,000. I paid cash for it. The full rehab was $22,000. It needed everything. It needed new floor joists, wall studs, some roof work. It had holes in the drywall. The floors needed to be refinished. Needed a new toilet, new bathroom floor, new kitchen stuff. It needed work all over. I went back down to Birmingham. I traveled back down. I went into that house before I bought it, and I saw the amount of work it needed. I knew the floor was soft in spots. Holes, needed painting, needed floor joists, all that stuff it needed. So I knew it could be done. He had the full rehab at $22,000. So basically it was $46,000. And since I paid cash on it, when I bought it, the closing costs were minimal. They might have been maybe $1,000. Not even $1,000, maybe $500, $700, I think, to buy it. Then we got a tenant in there, and then we had to wait 6 months from the time I bought it. So it was like August or September when I did a cashback refinance. And I was able to pull out, the house got an appraisal at $77,000. Remember, it was $46,000 all in. It appraised at $77,000. So I ran the numbers and I pulled out $51,500. $51,500 completely reimbursed us that $46,000 that we put back into the 401k because we paid ourselves back into the 401k. I'll talk more on 401ks loans later in a future video because it's getting long. Then it covered closing costs and maybe it gave me $1,000 or something for my pocket, something like that. So there's now a mortgage on the house. My tenant pays rent, they pay the mortgage. Okay, so that's 2 more houses I got in the early part of 2019. So remember, I got the first house in my self-directed IRA from a turnkey provider up in Indiana. So at the same time, in those first several months of 2019, I had decided I was going to sell one of my local houses in Virginia because real estate prices had gone up. I knew if I sold it, I got a good deal when I bought it. I knew I could sell it for a higher price, pull out my down payment, pull out the profit that I made, the capital gains, and I could roll that into buying more houses. And what it worked out to be was I bought 4 more houses from that same turnkey provider. Okay, so I bought the one inside the self-directed IRA, then I bought 4 more. All right, and that's after I sold my local one in Virginia. So I sold one house, bought 4. Cash flow on that one house was like between $250 to $300. Cash flow on all 4 was at least $1,000. All right, so I quadrupled my cash flow. Part of buying those 4 was some free money, the capital gains, that the price of the house appreciating. So that helped pay for some of those 4 houses. So by the time we wrapped up 2019, I bought a total of 6 houses in 2019. Sold 1 house in 2019. So at the end of 2019, we had a total of 11 rental units. One's a triplex. So one's a triplex and then 8 single family homes. 2 in Indiana, 1 single family home and a triplex in Virginia, and 5 houses in Indiana. Okay? All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here. So basically 2 houses in 2017, 4 in 2018, and a net gain of 5 more in 2019, which gave me 11 altogether. Okay? All right. So maybe I'll try to do 1 more video, possibly 2 more videos to bring me up to date to where I now have 25 units. End of 2019, I had 11 units. Okay? All right. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Keep loving life. Mazske is signing out.